It's November 4th, 1927, the date of the Annual Day Gala at the home of the infamous May Day. The Day Gala always happens at night, the event of the year hosted by the leader of one of the largest gangs in the city. Anyone who's anyone is invited. Friends, family, lovers, and enemies. Only the classiest are allowed into the Day Mansion, surrounded by a glittering splendor. Not that anyone will ever admit to where the Day family got their money, but the party is always the talk of the town. And this year, it will be a night no one will ever forget.
Girl, is the food ready?
Yes, Miss Day. I was just about to help Collins bring up a few more bottles of wine and brandy up from the cellar.
Good. See that he hasn't been nipping a few drinks for himself. Won't do me any good if he's drunk all night.
Yes, ma'am.
May Day is the leader of the Day gang, responsible for bringing a majority of the crime into the city. She also brings in a majority of the liquor. It certainly keeps the politicians off her back when she's keeping their liquor cabinets full, and I know I certainly appreciate her work.
Millie?
Miss Day?
Sonia Day, or Sonny as she's more commonly known, is May's granddaughter and the only heir to the family fortune. She has also inherited her grandmother's keen and shrewd mind when it comes to handling the family business. I personally wouldn't want to mess with Miss Sonny, although her grandmother doesn't quite seem to trust her abilities yet.
Let me know the moment the Westsiders get here. I want to keep my eye on Scannon.
Yes, miss.
Thank you. Oh, and have you seen my diamond bracelet? I know the clasp is loose, but I wanted to wear it tonight.
Last I saw it was on your vanity.
Thank you, Millie. I must have missed it.
Millie Graham was a quiet girl, perfect as a maid to the Day family. She barely speaks and keeps her head down while she works, easily forgotten and invisible, just like a good servant should be.
Oh, goodness. Good evening.
What ho! The wind is picking up. There's gonna be some rain tonight.
Edward, can you help me with my coat?
Of course it'd be tonight of all nights. This storm better not ruin the party. You know there's an election coming up. I certainly would hate to miss speaking with some of my constituents.
Let me take your coat, Mrs. Bull.
Eddie Bull and his wife Terry Bull are the elites in town. Eddie worked his way up the political ladder from lawyer to the city council to mayor, and now he's running for Congress. His wife is never far behind, supporting his ambitions with a gracious smile. They are seemingly the perfect political couple. But honestly, Eddie is as slimy as every other politician out there, and Terry is as quick as a whip behind that serene smile.
What's a man gotta do to get a drink around here?
Eddie! Oh, right this way, sir. Collins should be in the parlor, and he can get you a drink.
The old sport! He always makes the best drinks.
Oh, wait a moment. I must get my compact out of my coat pocket. Never know when one must powder her nose.
Right you are, ma'am.
Go ahead, dear. I'll just pop into the closet and fetch it.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening, miss. I'm here for Mrs. Day's party. I do hope I'm not too early.
Oh, not at all, Doctor.
Dr. J. Jameson is new to the gathering. Not exactly the type to be traveling with the social elites. He's just a local doctor known for being very good to his patients. Very good.
Oh, good. Thank you very much.
Would you like me to take your overcoat, Doctor?
Oh, yes, that would be quite nice, I think.
Girl, where's that Oh, Dr. Jameson, I'm so glad you could make it.
As am I. I hope I'm not too early.
Friends are never too early. Please, come in, come in. My man, Collins, is pouring drinks. You can taste some of what he's been brewing. Perhaps between the two of us, we can sort out a few business deals.
Oh, yes, thank you. I'd like that.
The good doctor may be considering expanding his business dealings. After all, he can write alcohol prescriptions for medicinal purposes. Who's to say he wouldn't be taking on a few more patients in the future?
Give me just a moment so I can check in with my staff, and I'll be right with you.
Quite good, quite good.
Where is that blasted singer?
I'm afraid I haven't seen her, ma'am. But, she may have come in the service entrance. I've been up here taking coats and seeing to the guests.
Must I do everything in this house?
Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I can go down to the kitchens and check right now.
Be quick about it. I'm paying that damned woman and her queer friend enough that they could at least be on time.
Yes, ma'am. Of course, ma'am.
Oh, Mayor Bull, how wonderful to see you. Or should I say Congressman?
Oh, May, don't jinx me.
Mrs. Day, I was under the impression that you wanted to discuss some business with me this evening.
Oh, yes, Doctor, I do. But first, a drink. Pick your poison. Whiskey? Bourbon? I do have champagne if you prefer something lighter.
Any chance your man can do an old-fashioned?
Well, of course he can. Collins, one old-fashioned for the doctor here.
Yes, Mrs.
He doesn't seem too thrilled to be bossed around.
Oh, that's just Tom. Always a bit of a grump, if you ask me. But he's my regular brewer. His family owned a brewery, which I often supported before that silly law was passed.
Old-fashioned?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
I want to know what you think about it, and take a drink.
You're right. Your man makes a good drink.
And do you think you can provide some products that would meet this standard?
Perhaps not for the pickiest palate, but to mix some drinks? Yes, what I can provide, I believe, would please you and your clients. I don't know if you'd want to talk about this somewhere a little more private.
Oh, yes. Although everyone here obviously knows my business. Let me finish greeting some of my guests, and I'll meet you in my office down the hall. Millie or Tom can show you where it is.
Wonderful. I brought a few samples if you'd like to try.
Oh, my doctor, you are prepared. That would be wonderful. Tom can supply you with some glasses. We can toast to a successful business.
Wonderful. I'll see you there.
A strong wind is starting up outside as more and more guests arrive. The last to show up is an almost ragtag group, a well-dressed young man, a glamorous date on his arm. The other couple with them is still out by the automobile the four drove up in.
Hello?
No butler to open the door. I thought this was supposed to be where all the swanky people were going to be.
Day don't like to surround herself with too many people. Now, behave. You know we've got to keep up appearances. Keep your friends close and enemies closer and all that.
I certainly hope you don't think of us as enemies, Scannon.
But enemies they are. The West Siders are the up-and-coming gang contending with the Days. Commonly considered from the wrong side of the tracks, the West Siders are growing more and more influential in crime circles. Their leader, Lew Scannon, is a smart man who grew up in the Banks Five, an Irish gang destroyed by the Days years ago. Now he uses his rough charm and good looks to get just about anything he wants.
I don't know what else you'd call us, Sunshine.
He also loves to needle Sunny Day whenever he sees her.
Don't call me that.
I suppose you're right. You're not really a ray of sunshine, more like a grumpy rain cloud. Now, where is that delightful grandmother of yours? I need to thank her for trying to turn my boys over to the cops on Tuesday. They nearly got killed thanks to her.
Well, maybe your boys need to pay more attention to what's going on around them.
Maybe you need to leave this work to the professionals. It's no place for little girls.
I'm not a little girl.
Oh, sure you aren't, Sunshine.
Louie! You didn't wait for me.
Now, if I waited every time you had to check your lips, doll, I'd never get anywhere.
Who's this? I didn't know you were bringing a guest.
Of course I'd bring my girl. This is...
Vera Piercing. I'm sure you've seen me in all the pictures. Please, I'm not here to sign autographs. Just out for a nice evening with my Louie-kins.
Yeah, Vera is her own hype woman, and I really can't stand her voice, so we'll just leave it at that.
Louie-kins?
Shut it, Sunshine.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of commenting. Come, drinks are this way, in the parlor.
Ooh, what a lovely bracelet. Real diamonds.
Yes, a gift from my parents. Thank you, Miss Piercing. Drinks? Collins is making some, or their champagne.
I wouldn't drink too much of the giggle water. Collins isn't the best distiller in the area.
Lew Scannon, you don't know what you're talking about.
I know more than you and your granny do.
Which would explain why I have the largest enterprise in this city, Mr. Scannon.
May always seems to know when someone is talking about her, and honestly, it can be a little creepy.
You only have the largest because you've been at it the longest and chase off anyone else who tries to enter the game with you. Lucky for us all, I don't scare easily.
That's because you have bricks instead of brains in that head of yours. You'll never amount to much.
Oh, the granny-ass bite. What are you gonna do, stab me with your knitting needles?
Huh. You'll wish that's all I'll do when I'm done with you.
Well, then may the best gang win.
Well, I'm gonna go get some champagne.
I think I'll join you. Too much hot air being blown around here for my liking.
Huh. Hear that, May? Your granddaughter thinks you're full of hot air.
She means you, not me.
Well, I'm certainly full of something.
After greeting and mingling, May escapes her guests, heading just across the hall to her office. It is out of this neat and orderly room that she runs one of the most profitable gangs in the city. May flips on a desk lamp and a table lamp, keeping the door partially closed, wanting to keep the conversation quiet from the others. She pulls out 2 cups, setting them on a low table between 2 chairs.
Yes, doctor. Please, come in. Have a seat.
Thank you. A drink?
Please. I'm intrigued by what you can get your hands on. We don't have a whole lot of time, so I'd like to get straight to the point, if you'll allow me.
Of course.
I have a distiller on my payroll already. He makes decent stuff. However, I want to get my hands on some cheaper things. Spirits we can sell to the common fellow. Products that are more suited to quantity over quality.
I don't know if I can help you.
No, don't be coy. We both know that you have a vast network of doctors who'd like to make some extra money. For years, you were excellent at this type of work.
And I got out of that business for a reason.
You never said why. One day you just stopped.
Because I saw what you all do to each other. The war started, and the U.S. wasn't even involved before you all were at each other's throats, smuggling and trying to get the upper hand. You didn't need scripts then, but you all wanted those medical supplies.
Well, that's just the business of war.
People died.
People die every day, Doctor. You should know that more than anyone else.
I do.
Why did you even come here if you weren't interested in the offer?
I didn't say I wasn't interested, just that I'm wary. I know what happens in this business. People end up dead. I've stitched up enough boys who've been caught in the crosshairs between you and Scannon, let alone the other gangs in town that you've gone after.
Then you should know that I'm not someone to be trifled with.
What? Going to force me?
Never. I just think this would be mutually beneficial to us both. Think about it, Doctor. Even if you personally never take 1 cent of money from me for your own gain, you could use it to improve your practice. You'd be able to help more people. What about all those men who came back from the war and are still screwy in the head? I know you have a soft spot for them.
I served with them.
And think of how much you'll be able to help them. How many other doctors will be able to do the same with some extra cash in their pockets?
How many scripts are you talking about a month? We can't do too many.
We'll start small, just a modest number, and gradually increase so we don't raise suspicion. If you want, you could even hire one of mine to work with you, so you don't even have to touch the stuff.
And you'll handle all the pickups and deliveries from the office.
That we will. You'll just have to let us know when.
And if we get caught?
Well, that's the price of business.
That makes me nervous. I've got a family to provide for.
We all do. This will allow you to do more for them. That pretty daughter of yours? She's having a child soon, isn't she? Wouldn't it be nice to spoil that little one?
How much are you offering?
The going rate.
I want 60%. It's my neck on the line.
Oh, no. It's my people who are doing all the heavy lifting.
50%, and I get a cut for every other doctor you bring in.
50% and an additional 1% of the sales of each doctor you bring in.
5% of each doctor.
3%, right down the middle.
You drive a hard bargain, Mrs. Day.
Well, I didn't get where I am today by being a pushover. Now, do we have a deal?
We have a deal.
Wonderful. I'll be in touch. Until then, I hope you enjoy the party. If you'll just excuse me, I need to go check on the help. Please feel free to finish your drink here if you wish. I know you're a man who prefers his own company to that of large crowds.
Thank you, Mrs. Pleasure doing business with you.
And you as well.
May steps out of her office, starting back towards the front hall.
Tisk, tisk. This is supposed to be a party, May, not a business deal.
Scannon, what are you doing lurking around?
Oh, nothing. Just looking out the window. My two that came with me wanted to cover up the auto. I just wanted to check to see what they were doing. Make sure you're not taking them for a ride.
I'd never.
That's a lie, and we both know it.
Meanwhile, downstairs.
Damn, I thought we were gonna blow right off the road back there. Do we have everything, Skipper?
I've got the music. You've got your dress.
Sure do. I'm going to need some time to fix myself up, though.
I'm sure we can find somewhere that we can freshen up a bit before heading out. I also want to see the piano before we get started. I wish you'd gotten here sooner.
Yes, I know, but looking this good takes time.
It sure does, little bear cat.
Oh, thank God. Please tell me you're the entertainment.
Sure am, chickadee. Belle Tone and my man skipped over. Anywhere I can freshen up a bit? Don't want to go out here looking like a ragamuffin.
Down the hall, second door to on the right.
Thanks, doll. I'll be right back, Skipper.
We were beginning to worry that you wouldn't make it.
Almost didn't with the storm out there. I've got some bad news for your mistress. I don't think anyone else will be getting in or out tonight. A tree fell in the woods right behind us and over the drive. If we hadn't been buzzing up here to make it, Belle and I would have ended up right under it.
Oh, dear. I'll have to tell Mrs. Day. Perhaps we could phone someone and maybe they could start working to get that out?
I wouldn't bet on it. Wind's picking up. I bet it'll start raining in the next few minutes. Look, I want to get warmed up and check out the piano. Can you point me in that direction and send Belle my way when she's done changing, miss?
Oh, you can just call me Millie. And yes, right this way.
Skipped Over is the owner of Over and Down, one of the best jazz clubs in the city. Despite being a man of color, his clientele is broad. You can see the crime lords sitting alongside the upper echelons of society. As long as you have money, Skip doesn't care who you are. Helping him bring in all those guests is his star singer, Belle Tone. Her soulful voice and Skip's occasional time at the piano makes them a dangerous duo in the business. It also makes them the couple everyone wants to be, with a loyalty to each other no one can miss. Seriously, you can't miss it.
Mrs. Day?
What is it now?
The musicians are here, but I've got some bad news.
What kind of bad news?
They said a tree fell over the drive when they were coming up.
Oh, well, we can handle that. If guests have to stay the night, we have enough rooms. Once the rain is lightened, make sure someone gets out to clear that away.
Yes, ma'am.
You can go.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Wonderful news, everyone. Our musical entertainment will be ready shortly. So this would be an excellent time to powder noses, fetch another drink, or grab a little bite to eat before we head into the next room. I'll see you all in the music room at the end of the hall.
The guests wander the first floor, enjoying food and drink, and the occasional bit of gossip. Belle Tone, finally ready for her performance, makes her way from the small servants' room to the music room where she'll be entertaining this evening. At least, she hopes she has the right room.
Nothing but bluebirds. Skipper? You in here? Skip? Ah!
And so it begins.
You've been listening to Simply to Die For by Roving Rogue Productions. This podcast was created thanks to a grant from Arts and Stark, the County Arts Council, and recorded in Massillon, Ohio. Simply to Die For was written by C.J. Corl and directed by Chuck Bonakoski. Audio engineering by Nicholas Nonno. Be sure to follow and subscribe to Simply to Die For on all your favorite podcast platforms. Follow Roving Rogue Productions on social media at Roving Rogue Pro for updates on the show and other Rogues projects. For all other virtual and in-person events, transcripts, and how to support us, visit us at rovingroguespro.weebly.com. Thanks for listening.